Hey everyone, hope all is well. Wait for some of you guys to come on. Hope everything's fine. Have a long day today, but it's gonna be a great day. Very productive, but just wait for some of you guys to come on. I want to do a quick video. I don't do too many lives anymore, so I wanted to come on real quick and just do one. So we can because I definitely have a message for you guys. So I'll wait for some of you guys to come on. Just wait a second. So I'm going to repeat myself. We're going to talk about favor. What is favor? Why favor? Like, hey, Yolanda. Yolanda Smith. Hi. Hola. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So the title of this live is What is Favor? So this whole year has been quite an amazing year. Good morning, David. Hey, Ben. This whole year has been quite an amazing year. I've really found myself in so many different ways, and I had to go through so many different processes, so many different steps to understand my position here on this planet. So this whole year, 2018, was all about people identifying self-worth, identifying who they are, identifying their place. So the reason why we've had so many retrogrades is because, as you guys know, with the retrogrades, we've had retrogrades back to back. The reason why we've had so many different retrogrades is because with retrogrades, those are our great teachers. Retrogrades are there to stir some mess up, to kind of teach you different lessons, but you may receive them in a way where it may appear that it's almost like they're hard lessons. They may appear to be hard lessons. So retrograde messes with your money. It messes with your relationships. It messes with your mood, your energy. It messes with your health. It messes with all that stuff. So when you're in retrograde, and that's why we've had so many back to back. This is the only year. We haven't had this many retrogrades in years, but this whole year is very, very important because this whole year has been preparing us for the next season, which the next season is going to be in 2019. So every single thing, like every single thing that you've been going through this year, through the retrogrades, through the hard lessons, it was there to condition you to prepare yourself to find your self-worth, self-love, self-value. So you probably went through some stuff where if you've been a person who's been settling, you probably went through some bad relationship stuff. If you've been a person that has issues with your finances or your heart, you've probably been through some bad money problems, issues, and different standstills and things like that. Even your health, like dealing with loss, things like that. So this whole year, the whole 2018, I swear to you, the only lesson, everything that you've gone through this year was designed to help you to identify who you are. Okay, because we're going into year of 3. We're going to 2019. 2019 is the year of growth. That's the year of 3. So 3 is all about, as you guys know, 3 is a very powerful number. 3 is the number of power and creation. So we're going into this new phase of energy where everything that you've been planting is now coming to fruition. That's the energy of creation. It's the energy of abundance, of growth. So 3 represents growth. It represents expansion. So whatever you've been planting, again, and I've said this several times to you before, if you've been planting rocks, don't expect a crop next year. But if you've been planting seeds, positive seeds, and it's probably starting now, everything that you've ever wanted, everything that you've been manifesting, everything that the universe has been preparing you for is now beginning to happen for you. So you're going to be enjoying the fruits of your labor in the year 2019 if you got your shit together. If you learned your lessons in this year. That's only if you learned your lessons. For those of you guys who haven't learned your lessons, oh my gosh. And I said this on my YouTube channel, and I'm not trying to speak negative things into existence, but watch, next year is going to be the highest rate of suicides. It's going to be the highest rates of like depression and things like that, because you literally are going to be reaping everything you've sown in the past. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've been in a 5-year cycle. So you're literally going to be reaping everything that you've sown in the past 5 years. And so watch and see how next year is. And again, I'm not trying to be negative or speak anything bad into existence, but I am being honest. A lot of people who have been like resistant to their path to change and things like that are going to have a very complicated year next year. But those of you guys who have been putting in the self-work and you know it, and you probably, a great sign is how you feel right now. Like if you feel really excited right now, if things that you've been working towards are now starting to show up in your life, that's an amazing sign that you're going to have an amazing 2019. You're going to literally have what you wanted, everything that you've been working for. Everything that you're working for. Just wait and see. You guys remember this video. Just wait and see. But if it hasn't been that way for you and you can't get off your hamster when you've been stuck, it's gonna be quite a lesson for you next year in 2019. Just wait and see what happens. Anyways, favor. As you guys know, a lot of great things have been happening in my life, and I'm really so grateful and so happy, and I feel so blessed and so favored. And a lot of people don't understand what favor is. So as you guys know, I'm a channel, so I have the ability to read energy, and I can channel anything, people, animals, a tree, everything's, and whatever is energy, I can read it. So because I have this ability to channel energy, I remember once I wanted to share this with you because I feel like somebody needs to hear this. You have to know how favor works. I remember I was sitting at my desk one day and I was pissed. I was mad. I was angry. And I was writing a letter to God because I was just angry. I was just angry. And I remember after I went on my rant page and I got mad at God. I used to always I have this, like, it's almost like a love-hate relationship with the universe sometimes. Because with the universe, it's almost like it's the parent, I'm the child. So I have this love-hate relationship. So, because I hate injustice and I don't understand injustice 100%. But at the same time, though, I do understand it because I know that it's there to create and build. But anyways, get back to the subject. I remember I wrote this letter to God. And I remember asking God, am I favored? And God said yes. And I thought everybody like me was favored. I thought everybody who went out and helped people or were light workers or did things or were the messengers to those who can't hear or see or feel, I thought everybody was favored. So I thought everybody liking me was favored. I just thought that automatically. I thought if you went to church or if you gave or if you just did the right things, you're favored automatically, right? That's what I was thinking. And I said, well, is everybody like me favored? And God said no. And I asked, what makes me favored? Why am I favored? And God replied, you do the things that don't make sense. When you do the things, when you step against your human ways, sometimes it's like you almost have to learn how to die and still live. So when you step away from your human ways, when you do the things that just don't make sense, when you take those risks, when you get these signs that you're supposed to go in different directions, when God says move and it don't make sense to move, you better move. I moved here to Georgia. It didn't make no sense for me to move to Georgia as a single mom and broke. I came to Georgia as a single mom broke. I didn't have a job, nothing, but God said move here. God said move. And I went through some sacrifices to be here. But at the same time, not everything, but I've always been favored. I've always had. I went from nothing to having everything. Because I did what didn't make sense. And so when God said that those who do the things that don't make sense, that's who is favored. It don't matter how good of a person you are. It doesn't matter how much you give, how much you help people. If you do it safely, if you go against your guidance, if you go against your path and your purpose, that's not. You probably are struggling. You're probably struggling still. And you're probably wondering in your head, like, I wonder why all this negative stuff is happening to me when I'm so good. I do this, I do that. And this is kind of going to those who actually resonate with this. If you're a person where you know you're doing everything right, you help people, you know you're a good person, but then nothing seems to go right in your life, you're not doing things that don't make sense. you're being safe. God favors those, the universe favors those that do the things that don't make sense. The past 5 years, I've been in Georgia for almost 5 years now. And I've done so many different things, including coming out with who I am. I was so afraid to even let people know that I had these abilities, are these gifts. I was so afraid of that because I didn't want to be judged, and I didn't want people to be afraid of me and everything like that. But I came out. I did what didn't make sense. I had to go through people like making fun of me. I had to go through people that they're ridiculing me. I had to go through all that stuff. But all those people that were doing that, they stayed concrete while I traveled the world. This whole year I traveled the world. I lived my life. I have had everything on my back and my shoulders, but I did everything I wanted to do this year. I still have one more trip. I'm going to Jamaica on Monday for a week. Because I decided to go. I just booked my trip like a few days ago. I'm able to book a trip like a few days in advance, and I'm going to Jamaica next week because I just want to go. You do the things that don't make sense, and you are favored. That's just how it goes. You do the things that don't make sense, and you are favored. So when you do the things that don't make sense, that's when God favors you. You can't be safe. You can't sit there and be worried about what people think about you. You can't be sitting there, you can't worry because all those people that slept on me and would make fun of me and didn't take me seriously, they are still in the same place. And I ran past them because I didn't care. I did what didn't make sense. So that's what I'm saying. You have to really, 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 really listen to your intuition. Build a relationship with God. Having a relationship with God is not going to church and praying. Having a relationship with God is not just like when you're going through bad things, you pray, you keep talking. Having a relationship with God is when you shut up, you listen, you be still, and then you listen to what God is when you come together with Source or universe, however you resonate. To me, same thing. But when you come together with Source as one and build an intimacy, everything that I've done to get me to this point is because I listened. I wasn't talking and begging, or I didn't feel like I had to go. I don't go to church on Sundays. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. I didn't do any of that stuff to have the favor that I have. But I've learned how to build a relationship with God by standing still, listening, and then being obedient. So things that didn't make sense, if I got guidance to do, like to go downtown on a Tuesday and I have nothing to do downtown, but I go anyway and meet somebody who is able to help me get to a new level. I do what doesn't make sense. And that person, sometimes you just have to listen and do what doesn't make sense. And when you do that and you listen and you go off of faith, you receive favor. So that's how it is. And you got to let go of fears too. You got to let go of fears. Fear to me is equivalent to the devil. That's what the devil is to me. That's the man with the red tail. That's fear. And that's up here. And because fear will handicap you. Fear will make you sick. Fear will kill you. Fear will keep you stagnant and only allow you just to live to die. Just to live to die. You'll live every day, get older and older and older. Like living in the future, well, I'll do it one day. Well, when my kids get older, I'll do it. Or when I retire, or when I have enough money, when I move, when I do this. You live in the future based off of fear of living in the moment and enjoying your gift of life today. Because how many people do we know were here one day who appeared to have perfect lives, who would work out every day, who were good people, who would eat healthy, who would take all this pride in themselves, and then the next day they were dead? How many times has that happened this year? And they get a chance to live what they were planning in the future. It didn't make sense for me to book a trip a couple of days ago. Out of the country trip. That didn't make for a week. That didn't make sense, but I did it. And I'm going to have a great time, and I'm living life. And that's what it's about. So when you do the things that don't make sense, you receive favor. That's what favor is about. It's not about your ancestors, you praying to ancestors. It's not about you going again to church every Sunday. It's not about you begging God and you thinking you have a relationship because you pray. It's deeper than that. You have to build an intimacy and learn how to listen, follow direction, fearlessly trust it and do the things that don't make sense. Be who you are meant to be. Don't worry about what nobody thinks about you. Don't worry about anything. Do the things that don't make sense. And God will lead you. The universe will lead you to where you need to be to have success, to have everything that it is that to really be in a place where you really are happy, not just for other people. Because so many people have this outside representative. I was one of those people who had outside representative where I would smile. You guys don't even know. Last year, the past 3 years, the first 3 years I was out here, I was very angry. I was very angry all the time. I was very, very angry. I was angry. I was depressed. I was sad, but I was still doing my job. I was still doing the things that didn't make sense. I was still favored, but I was not in a good place. But it wasn't until I relinquished that I had to go through my process, but my process got me here to this point. And now my smile, my feelings are not for show or for the world. That's how I feel. Because I did the things that didn't make sense. So I wanted to share that message because I feel like somebody needs to hear that, because next year, that's the year of abundance. That's the year of 3. 2019 is the year of 3, you guys. That's going to be a great year for a lot of people, but it's also going to be a lot of people's torment, depending on where you are in life. And I think that people know, if you know that you are moving, and you're still in the same place you were, 6 months ago, you should not be in the same place you were at. Hell, even 3 months ago, you should not be in the same place where you are, or further back. If you're in a place, if you're going backwards, or you're in the same place where you were even 3 months ago, something's not right. You got to do something different. You got to maybe do something that doesn't make sense to gain that favor. So I hope you guys enjoyed the message. You know how to reach me. If you want to contact me, go to my website, www.CandiceGSmith.com. You can contact me that way. And I'll be seeing you guys. Oh, make sure you guys tune in too. Tune in Monday at, I think the show starts at 9 o'clock. I had a chance to see the clip of the show. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. The T.I. and Tiny Friends and Family Hustle show. Make sure you tune into that. It was a great experience to work with the girls and the cast and everything like that. It's going to kind of blow you away how things have happened. That was a really great experience. And so many doors have opened up, for me because of that. And because I do the things that don't make sense. So make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be a great episode. Again, next Monday. Yeah. Do the things that don't make sense. You guys be blessed. I got to go. Got to go work. So you guys be blessed. I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll see you on the screen.